Salute you all, our viewers, and appreciate you for connecting with us at this moment. We are not taking you for granted as you have given us your time and space to be here with us at this moment. We appreciate you. I equally want to thank our viewers, our supporters for being organic, fundamentally organic in their support for the SDP gubernatorial candidate for Kogi State, Alhaji Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, on whose ticket I fly as the deputy governorship candidate. At this juncture, there will be need for me to let you know more of me. I am Chief Sam Abenemi. I am a native of Igbonla village in Oworo district of Lokoja local government area council. By geographical expression, I come from the West Senatorial District of Kogi State. Knowing more of me is that I was born about 63 years ago, approximately, and I was privileged to be born into a family of bureaucrats. My father was a public servant, and to that extent, he was being posted around the then Kwara State. I had the privilege of having part of my early life at Dekina, where I did part of my primary school, after which about 2.5 years, it was transferred to Kini, where I equally rounded up my primary school and proceeded to the secondary school. In the process of my schooling, I had opportunity of being a student too at Kaba, the headquarters of the West Senatorial District. So I am a thoroughbred Kogi person, coming from a minority tribe and schooling in the three major geopolitical areas where I was able to imbibe their culture and their language. I used to speak much of Igala, but with age passing by, I've lost some of it, but progressively, I am regaining them back. The vocabs are coming back as I engage the electorate from time to time, and even my friends. So today I speak Igbo fluently. I have friends there, I have schoolmates, and so on. Of course, in the Okun axis, my dialect is Okun. Therefore, my candidature is equally in the interest of the Okun nation. Having said this, I had the privilege of going to the university where I obtained a BSc degree in political science. I graduated in 1983 from Ahmadu Bello University and did a postgraduate too at same university. Just to abridge my CV, I had the privilege of being a tutor, and I had contributed my own basic effort towards bringing up the younger elements then who today are part of those who are making things tick in this country. Having said that, about about 40 years ago, I got involved in politics of Kogi State. And through that process, I became council chairman, the chairman of local government referred then to as Kogi, but now Lokoja local government. I had the privilege of being the first graduate to be chairman of council at that time. And during that time, we were able to bring to bear sanity in the local government administration. We had the key major thing, which was the achievement of my tenure as chairman, was the ensuring of clearing the backlog of salaries and allowances owed to workers. Within 8 months of staying in office, I had progressively retired all accruing commitment of government to the civil servants at the local government. In the days they got what actually is their due. Having served at that level, I was appointed as a commissioner in the State Independent Electoral Commission. Of course, the pioneer SIEC, State Independent Electoral Commission of Kogi State, by the then late Prince Abubakar Audu, who were able to plant a viable State Independent Electoral Commission at that time, which still is holding its own till today. I went on to be appointed graciously by Alhaji Ibrahim Idris as a member of the Executive Council as Commissioner for Water Resources. And the legacy project that we have today, the Greater Lokoja Water Scheme, was kickstarted by myself. Though the conception was originated before I came in, but the groundbreaking and the commencement of construction work was in my time. So today it remains a signature project. What has become of it, I cannot tell today, but the intention was to ensure that people had potable water within Lokoja and its environs. And from there, I moved on into business and farming as well. Today, I can tell you I am one of the big time farmers in Kogi State. And the more reason why this administration, as enunciated in the manifesto of my principal, we believe that your vote for Murtala Yakubu Ajaka of the SDP will be a new dawn in the agri sector and all other sectors that we intend to look at in Kogi State. At this juncture, I have to let you know that the program so couched by the Muri tickets of the SDP covers security, infrastructural development, youth empowerment by technology, agriculture, economy, and what is it I've left out? Healthcare, portable health care for all. But for the purpose of our tonight's engagement, we shall be emphasizing on security, as this happens to be the pivotal session. We intend to have it in series, whereby we'll be able to espouse the packages so contained in our manifesto for Kogites. Today we shall be emphasizing on security. Why? Security is key and is one of the fundamental responsibility of any responsible government. As such, Alhaji Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, holding the flag flying for the SDP in Kogi State, intends to make security a front burner in his program. We are aware that there is already, so to speak, a security architecture in the state, but we are going to take it to another level, higher than as it is. Because in the first instance, there are usually flashpoints where crises often spring up. We have intercommunal clashes. We have farmers, Fulani herders interface by way of clashes. We have, though in the dwindling numbers now, cases of kidnapping and so on. Our intention is that one of the key things to do is to collaborate with the security architecture, the federal security architecture in the state. How do we go about it? The intention of my principal is to ensure that the proliferation of light arms dotting all over the state in Kogi State will be given a thorough attention. We shall give support to the relevant security authorities to mop up these illegal emanations that dot the space all over, to guarantee freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and of course, freedom of doing business. Having said that, the state over time had established, I remember, I think during Alhaji Ibrahim Idris, a security trust fund. We're going to ensure that we wire in sufficient money to that fund to make sure we provide the required equipment that will make the delivery of security more reasonable and to an acceptable level. In addition to this, we are not going to leave the private sector out of it. We are going to curry the support of the private sector to key into this particular thing by making their own token contribution towards ensuring that we provide the necessary infrastructure for the security outfits to be able to perform effectively their duties. Now, part of what we want to bring to bear in the security sector in the state is the fact that intelligence gathering is key. Of course, it's a sine qua non for an effective security architecture. Therefore, we are going to emphasize on police civilian relationship. We're going to support it as a way of inter-gathering. Also, we're going to support community policing, because the people who make up the state don't live in the space, they live on the ground. Therefore, such communities will be galvanized to ensure that they form communities, committees in their respective communities, possibly even vigilante, a robust vigilante group that wouldn't take laws into their hands. They will operate under limits of the laws that establishes them. And they will ensure that there is a synergy between the police, the civil defense, the Directorate of Secret Police, Secret Service, DSS, and all other, even the army. If we see anything that will bring about threats to the lives and property of people of Kogi State, whichever of the security arm is fundamentally responsible for quelling that challenge shall be adequately informed ahead so that we can act proactively. The government of Alhaji Murtala Ajaka will not want, of the SDP, will not want to pay visits to communities after they are being roasted or attacked or threatened. We will rather take proactive action as espoused in his manifesto to ensure that we nip at the bud all likely security challenges in all the communities. Because we are very sure that the architecture we have set will be foolproof, because it will be based on intelligence gathering. And with intelligence gathering, the sky is our limit. Of course, the success of any security operation is premised on efficiency of intelligence gathering and speedy action, not to delay action until when the security threat is already delivered. So in the process, we intend to ensure that we take proactive action to forestall any threat that may come from any part of the state. Added to this is the fact that in the proposal contained in my principal's manifesto, ditto the party's manifesto, is the fact that we have to go back to the basics. What do I mean by this, or how do I mean? We'll go back to what we refer to as ethical reorientation. Ethical reorientation. The teaching of moral instruction in our primary schools, nursery and primary schools, even up to the secondary, and even taking it higher to the tertiary. The state has, for the moment, 2 universities, one in the making, and several other colleges around. We take the ethical reorientation there from teaching them on how to value man's life. Our societal values are key to ensuring that the molding of a child into adulthood, all these things are imbibed and they turn out to become useful men in their future. So, to be more fundamental, other than the other actions we intend to take, we shall go on to the schools to reorientate the young elements. Just like the adage that they say, you handle your children well when they are young, so that when they are old or older, they become good children and become good citizens. So it is one key area we're going to handle. We're going to make sure that where necessary, even institutions will be established to deliver most of these things we have enunciated in our intention to ensure that the state is free of crime as much as possible to a barest minimum. We observe that food production, Kogi State used to be and is going to be, or to remain as, is going to remain as a basket of food production for Kogi, for Nigeria. How do I mean? The security issues concerning relationship between our farmers and herders is a huge challenge to food production. I just told you that I also am into farming, big time farming, and I know the challenges posed by this issue of herders farmer challenges. At times, it may not just be that the cattle will ravage the farms of our people. At times, even some elements go to harvest what they have not planted. Whereas as a farmer, you'll be expecting a bumper harvest. Some people help you to harvest even before time. So we need to spread our tentacles, not only in the cities, but even in the villages and our respective communities, to ensure that we are good to turn out baskets of food to feed the nation, to feed Kogi State, and for our people on a subsistence level to feed their respective families. Thank you. We'll go on a break and come back shortly. I will expect you to make responses by way of asking questions, and I assure you I will sufficiently answer those questions as they are turned in. Thank you for watching and participating. Our break shall be just for 5 minutes.
My viewers, you are welcome back after this short break. Now, a number of questions have cropped up which are of interest and concern to Kogites. I must state that in the earlier part of this session, or the earlier session, I had emphasized that we have a 7-point agenda as espoused in the manifesto of the SDP and the focal points of the government of Alhaji Murtala Yakubu Ajaka. Be that as it may, a few questions that have come in did not center on security. We are choosing that today will be for security. But for the fact that it is an area of interest of some few observers, I will respond. The first question goes thus: that how are we going to harness the agri potentials of the Ibaji zone? My principal has a robust idea that is an integrated idea. Number one, he intends to ensure that the Ibaji communities are accessible. That is the first thing, because the end produce by the farmers will certainly have to come to the market. So he has a wonderful idea. When we shall be talking about infrastructure, we shall make specific reference to the package as it has to do with roads. But the signing quantum for being able to tap into the potentials of Ibaji, the first thing or the first approach is to raise the level of the road to ensure that it becomes an all-season road. Then we begin to engage in other things that are necessary. Give them extension workers, give them improved seedlings, and open up access to facilities in terms of loan and so on. And we'll get off-takers too to come and patronize even their produce at the end of the farming season. When we get to agriculture, we shall espouse in detail the full content of our agri package. The second question is, will teachers be paid their salaries and workers? You know, one thing that gives us assurance that we shall be up to the task is because the incumbent government and other previous governments too did a review by way of screening the workers, the profile of workers in Kogi State. And by implication, it has been brought to a sizable level that government should be able to afford. So that gives us assurance that as a matter of priority, the workers are entitled to their wages. The Islamic religion and the Christian religion, which are the two predominant religions, including even the local, no, they are not local, the traditional worshippers. It states that the sweat of a worker should not go dry before he's paid his wages. Therefore, that stands as a principal guidance for us to ensure that as much as we can, salaries will be number one priority. 3.
Sir, a question just came in. How do you think you can bring the Fulani heads menace to an end in Kogi State, most especially in Kogi East?
Yes. The Fulani menace can be brought to an appreciable level where there will be decorum in their conduct. I use my personal experience to explain as an analogy. When I was going to place my farming space in place, I called the Fulani community there. I bought some phones for them and charged them to be my security around the farm. And at intervals, we exchanged pleasantries and gifts. To that extent, we have become very friendly and used to ourselves. So if there's any threatening thing around the farm, they are the ones that will call you that your attention was required. And on the other hand, if you are taking time before going to your farm space, you call to ask after even their welfare and the welfare of their families. By that, you have engendered a conducive atmosphere for a relationship to be kindled. So it is not about force.
The Fulani
Naturally for reason of coming to generate any problem, so to speak. But either their cattle have been rustled somewhere, or there are some Fulani stocks that are violent and aggressive. So these ones run away from them from far and come interior, particularly to the middle belts, Kogi State in particular, and the eastern flank more than any other part of the state, to seek for refuge. But as soon as they arrive, if the community heads make sure that they have a profiling of those who are arriving and make them to be conversant with the do's and don'ts of the community, putting them under the framework of the laws of your community and the state, they shall ensure that they conform. And when they conform, then it means that we have generated a situation whereby we have the instrument for settlement of crisis, because you have brought them under your domain, and effectively you can put them on charge for any misdemeanor. Thank you. I think I've handled that question.
The next question: what measure do you think you can use to eradicate poverty, political hooliganism, and low turnout during voting?
I had said earlier on that we're going to mop up funds. Even in this election that is in view, whoever goes to procure ammunition will just be wasting his time. There shall be no space for that kind of intimidation. The people's voice, the people's choice shall prevail. No longer shall we tolerate reckless abandon of basic conduct during election. We shall cry out to the appropriate quarters to come to rescue us. And you can be assured that a Murtala Ajaka government, by the special grace of Almighty God, shall come to be in Kogi State. And at that time, we shall have no record of hooliganism or threat to life with reckless abandon. Thank you. Any question? That will be it. Thank you for your responses. We thank you for connecting. And this just stands as the first of the series. The next series, we shall be discussing youth empowerment and technology at the next point, next time we come online. Have a pleasant day. God bless you. We shall keep you adequately informed when next we shall come online. So, for you in Kogi State, make sure your voter's card is close by. Always check on it every day. And for those who have not collected theirs, this is the right time to do so. The INEC season for collection of those who voters cards for those who registered recently is on. Please, if you do have challenges, let us know so that we can go to INEC to straighten them out. But be watchful. There are people who want to buy off cards, voters' cards. Make a loud noise and ensure that they are prevented from doing that. Well, I have enjoyed this session on my own side. I'm sure on your side you have too. But I can assure you that in future series, my principal too, when time permits him, shall equally be here online to interact with you. God bless you.